Hi everybody, my name is Renee. I am the animal care coordinator here at the Quag Wildlife Refuge.
And my name is Kim, and I'm the event coordinator and office manager. And today we'd like to talk to you guys about
great horned owls.
Renee, do you want to hear a joke about
Yes.
great horned owls? What do you call an owl in armor?
I don't know.
A night owl. And now Renee is going to tell us some awesome facts about birds of prey.
So the term bird of prey may be a bit confusing because these guys are in fact very fierce predators. There are 5 main groups of birds of prey. They are owls, hawks, eagles, falcons, and one that many forget, vultures. These guys all have many characteristics that make them signature birds of prey. And today we're going to discuss a lot of those as well as some that are exclusively for the great horned owl. So are we ready to meet our great horned owl?
Yes! I can hear him. I'm sure a few of you folks out there have already met Hooter.
Can everybody say hi, Hooter?
Hi, Hooter!
So for those of you who may be unfamiliar with the refuge, the Quag Wildlife Refuge mission, part of it is to care for permanently injured wildlife and animals like Hooter who cannot care for themselves. So Hooter has been with us actually for about 16 years, and he's been in captivity for around 30 years of his life. So he came to us actually from the Queens College Nature Center when they closed, and he came to us because he was actually illegally raised by people. He is an imprinted bird, and what that means is that Hooter was actually taken out of the wild from the time he was young, and he was raised by people. So he did not learn how to care for himself properly. So he relies on people for food, for shelter, and for protection. So he must now remain in captivity for the rest of his life. So Hooter is a great horned owl. It's named for these tufts of feathers right here on the top of his head. You can see those feathers. If you look at Hooter closely too, you can see that he does scan around a bit. At some point in Hooter's life, he did lose a bit of his eyesight, so he's actually scanning for sound. And we are going to talk about his hearing and his eyesight in a little bit. So Hooter, I want to actually start because most people, by just looking at a bird, you can gather a lot of information about them. Look at their coloration, look at their size, look at all their features like their beak and their talons and their foot arrangement. And you can gather information as to where this bird might live, what kind of habitat is a good habitat for this bird, what it may eat, what kind of shelter it may use. So Hooter is a common bird of Long Island. If you look at his coloration, his feather pattern, I'll turn him around for you. He's showing off a little bit. You can see the feathers on his back look just like the bark of a tree. He is a woodland bird, a forest bird. He camouflages perfectly in a habitat like that. These guys are common to Long Island. They're our largest owl here on Long Island. So coloration is really important for camouflage. There are some other characteristics that make Hooter a really great predator too. So one of them is his eyesight. So these birds, just like us, have binocular vision. That means they use 2 eyes to see, but it makes one picture when it comes together. And what that aids in or helps with is to help him see depth, so he can see for really great distances. That's good as a predator. These guys are also nocturnal animals. What does that mean? Nocturnal, right? Nocturnal means that he's awake during the nighttime. So these guys have to have really good night vision. Many animals have in their eyes what's called a tapetum. And a tapetum is a mirror-like membrane in the back of their eyes that actually reflects light. So that is what helps with his night vision. You might notice this on animals, especially at night, maybe when you're taking a picture with them or shining a flashlight on an animal, their eyes will shine or light up. That's that mirror membrane, that tapetum, kind of reflecting the light off of. So Hooter's eyes are cone-shaped. So they're not orbs like ours. They're actually kind of shaped like an ice cream cone. Because of that, he's actually unable to maneuver his eyes his head. So instead, what does Hooter do to see around? You can see him doing it right now. He turns his head. So Hooter can turn his head 270 degrees. That's 3/4 of a circle, very, very far. And owls can do that for a couple different reasons. One of the reasons that he can do that is he has double the amount of vertebrae or bones in his neck than a mammal does or a human does. So humans and other mammals have 7 vertebrae, so that means that Hooter has 14. So Hooter is a lot more flexible than humans. Right, Hooter? So the other thing that makes these guys really good predators is his beak, right? So Hooter has a sharp hooked beak. That's a signature characteristic of these birds of prey. His beak is a little bit hidden underneath all of his whiskers and his feathers. So you can see it under there, his black hooked beak. And that's really important for consuming his prey. So Hooter is called the tiger of the woods. So he is a very fierce predator in his habitat. His diet includes a variety of things, lots of moles and voles and mice, but also sometimes skunks, sometimes snakes, sometimes even other owls or large birds of prey that can be up to his size. So these guys will consume a whole variety of prey, lots of different things. They'll use their beak to eat them, but they use these super sharp talons to capture them. You can see how sharp his talons are. So owls are actually really cool. What? Oh, buddy. Owls are actually really cool. He's talking to you.
Hi, Hooter.
I think he hears all these birds around him right now, right, Hooter? So owls, their feet are very, very amazing. They're extremely strong. So you can see we wear these leather gloves to protect ourselves. Hooter's not clamping hard on my hands at all, but it is good protection to wear these as he's just perching on me. These guys have 200 to 500 pounds per square inch of pressure. That's about 25 pounds of pressure to open up an owl's feet. They have such strong feet, strong like a bald eagle, in fact, so much larger bird of prey. And they can maneuver one of their toes backwards or forwards depending on what they're using it for, whether it's clamping or just perching nicely. They can move one of those toes around, which is very helpful to them as a predator. So we talked about their feathers, we talked about their camouflage, but feathers are important for such a large variety of reasons. So these great horned owls have really thick layers of feathers, especially during this time of year. Lots of thick down plumage. You might have heard the term down used in a comforter or your jackets that you have during the winter time. Down feathers are really important for insulation, for warmth. A great horned owl can actually withstand temperatures up to negative 40 degrees, which is incredible, right? So these guys are well adapted to the winter. So they're non-migratory birds here. They've even got their own built-in Ugg boots. So he's got really, really thick plumage, which makes him look a little bit larger than he is. So this great horned owl, everyone's always very, very surprised to hear that he only weighs about 2.5 to 3 pounds. He's a very small bird compared to his size. And the females of this species are a bit larger than the males. And that goes with most birds of prey, most raptors. So that's another term that's often used with these guys. So the females are larger typically in most raptors. So Hooter's feathers are extremely thick. You can see actually how far I can stick my finger into his feathers. Can you see
Wow.
that?
Yes.
So pretty far. So lots of thick downy feathers. So built for insulation, built for warmth. The other thing that feathers are important for is flight, right? So we want to see Hooter flap his wings?
Yes.
Hooter flap his wings a little for us. So if you listen carefully, it is difficult to hear, but maybe you can come at some point in person and hear Hooter flap his wings. But an owl has silent flight, which is incredible. These guys have comb-like structures to the tips of their wings. They're spread apart, so it allows some of the air to pass through and it softens the sound. So these guys are able to sneak up on their prey. So that's helpful as a predator, especially as a nighttime predator. They can be very stealthy. So Hooter also uses his feathers for balance. Watch Hooter do his little funky dance. Hooter uses those tail feathers as he's perched in a tree to balance himself. As the wind comes, he can balance himself. If it's a little bit wobbly of a branch, he can balance himself, and then he opens up those wings if he needs to. So their feathers are important for a whole variety of reasons. A lot of people think that these feathers on the top of his head are actually his ears, but an owl's ears are actually located on the sides of their faces. They're kind of behind their eyes, and one is actually higher than the other, and that is really helpful in figuring out exactly where a noise is coming from. So these guys are really wonderful at locating their prey even in extreme darkness. So these guys can hear very, very well. The wind's blowing Hooter a little right now. He's balancing himself. So these guys can hear so well. I want you all to try an activity at home. I want you to put your thumb and your pointer finger together and rub that right by your ears. Can you hear that noise? Now I want you to see if you can hear mine. An owl can hear this noise from across a basketball court. That is how well they hear. So they can hear animals, small animals like a vole underneath the snow. They can hear them for great distances away. I've heard up to 900 feet. So they can hear very, very well, which makes them a really great predator as well. So I think maybe we'll open it up to some questions. If we have any comments on Facebook. Do we have any comments, Kim?
We have a few. Does anybody have any questions they'd like to ask us about Hooter? Not seeing any pop up.
That's okay.
Oh, but people are definitely enjoying learning about owls.
That's
So
awesome.
thank you guys for watching.
Yeah. Maybe we'll show a couple of things that we have. Whoop.
Whoop.
We'll put Hooter away. We'll show a couple of cool like artifacts and things we have of Hooter.
Yeah. Oh, Hooter actually came here from another center, the Queens College Center, which closed about, I think he's been here for 16 years. Oh, we're getting a bunch of questions.
Oh, awesome.
Hooter is about 30 years old, we think. We know at least that he's been in captivity for about 30 years. Renee, how long do great horned owls typically live?
So great horned owls in the wild, their lifespans vary a lot. But in captivity, they have been known to live even up to 50 years. I think the oldest great horned owl in captivity was 50 years old.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing.
We have a few more questions. Stacy wants to know what his favorite food is.
Oh, so Hooter's a little picky because he's always lived in captivity, but he really likes to eat rats.
Ooh, yum.
That's his favorite.
Delicious.
Rats and mice. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Vicky wants to know how many might be on Long Island and where else do they live?
Oh, they're all
Wow.
across the United States, into Canada. They're actually across a lot of different countries as well. But I don't know what the populations actually are on Long Island. I don't know if that's been surveyed.
And then there's one more question from Tesha who says, what's their top speed of flight?
Oh, so great horned owls, I'm not sure how fast they actually can fly through the forest. They will navigate short distances through trees and stuff, so I don't know if they've been capped at certain speeds.
Yeah.
They do fly a little bit differently than some other birds, so you can look at the shape of their wings. Hooter has long, broad wings with just a slight arc to them, so you can kind of look at the shape of a bird's wings or their silhouette to see their flight patterns. So soaring birds usually have these really broad wings, sometimes kind of a cup-like shape to them, so they can fly without even having to flap much. Lots of the aerodynamic birds have really a sharp arc to their wings that helps them maneuver quickly in flight, like peregrine falcon.
Very cool.
But I don't know with Hooter's actually speed. He's in captivity or
I
in the
know.
wild.
We'll definitely find out and share it with you guys. We have one more question or point that I think would be great to talk about. And someone asks about stressing the importance of not using rat poison in your, like for your, around your home. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, and that's a good thing with all the birds of prey to talk about. So a lot of our birds of prey were suffering from particularly a chemical in the environment, a pesticide called DDT. And this kind of shows us what many pesticides or poisons can do in general. But DDT was a pesticide commonly used all across the United States, and they noticed over time there was a huge reduction in birds of prey, particularly in osprey. The osprey were gone. The bald eagles were suffering from this. Red-tailed hawks, a lot of birds were declining from this.
Sorry guys, we'll put this on pause for a moment.
Yeah. And what was happening was these animals would be eating something, say a bald eagle would eat a fish, and that fish was eating lots of insects, and insects would be covered in the pesticide. So as this worked its way up the food chain, this pesticide grew and grew in amounts, and by the time it reached a bird of prey, it was so much in their system that when they would lay their eggs, as they would go to sit on them, it would actually crack their eggs. Their eggs weren't developing enough calcium to make them strong, so they weren't able to hatch any young during this time. So they actually banned this pesticide, and we've seen, now for those of you on Long Island, you can see we have lots of osprey now. We have lots of bald eagles now nesting on Long Island, so it's really exciting what can happen when we ban things like these pesticides that are harmful to our animals. So they do have a major effect in them. Even though you think pesticides are only affecting insects, they're growing up the chain, up the food chain, and they're affecting even our largest predators.
Very cool. I think that's all the questions.
Question about owl pellets.
Owl pellets,
Somebody
good
found
question.
Oh.
Somebody found one.
Yeah, so I actually have an owl pellet here.
Oh,
We'll pull it out. Oh, our owl pellet is a little fresh right now. So owl pellets, I don't know if you want to zoom into this a little bit, Kim. So owl pellets are actually produced when an owl consumes its food. It will regurgitate a pellet. So some people think owl pellets are owl poop. Nope, they are regurgitated from their mouths. So owl pellets consist of the feathers, bones, fur, anything that this owl has consumed. So biologists, citizen scientists can actually take these apart, and they can put back together the animal that this owl ate, and they can figure out maybe how many animals are in the environment, what kind of other animals are in the environment, because you can tell by what they're eating, what might be available to them. You can find out what owls are eating in an area. So it might change from area to area what you're finding in these pellets. And all birds of prey actually produce a pellet, but owls, they do not have a crop in there, which helps many birds to grind up their food. So owls actually will have bones in their pellets, whereas some other birds of prey will just have feathers or fur. So they won't actually have bones. So you can only really study the owl pellets. The ones that we typically study for owl pellets are actually usually from barn owls. They're easily available, and also barn owls usually consume their food whole. So they don't break apart a lot of the bones. So you can really put those back together and get a good picture of what they ate.
we have another.
We have another question.
We do. It's how do owls keep warm?
Oh, they're down feathers, right? They're insulation.
Yeah.
And I was going to show you some
Oh,
feathers.
perfect.
So their downy feathers are really what keep them warm. They even have feathered feet, so that helps them as well. So a lot of these birds can withstand really, really cold temperatures, which is great. But these are some feathers actually from a barn owl as well. And I wanted to pull these up. I don't know if we can get a good picture of these zoomed in. But you can see the comb-like structure right up here on top. Can you see it, Kim?
Yes.
So that gives you a good idea of how they silence the sound. They soften the sound. So these are flight feathers, so a different type of feathers than downy feathers. These are a little tougher, more structured feathers. They're a lot longer than a downy feather too.
Very cool.
Any other questions?
I think, well, one more question about how many owls are at the QWR?
Oh, so we have a variety of owl species at the refuge. We have 2 barred owls, we have 2 great horned owls, and 2 screech owls. animals here at the Quag Wildlife Refuge. Maybe some of them will be in some other videos to come.
And we have another comment about somebody who says they are upset that Hooter has been in captivity for such a long time.
Yeah, so a big part of what we like to do is we like to educate the public on why these animals are not pets, they're wild animals. So unfortunately for Hooter, he can't go back into the wild, but we hope that people listen to this, educate others, tell others what you've learned, and that's a good way to make sure that things like this don't happen in the future to other wild animals.
Exactly. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. If you like this video and you want to see more from us, please comment below. Tell us about topics you might be interested in learning about. The Nature Center will be closed for March, but our trails are open every single day from sunrise to sunset. And now is the time to come out and, enjoy nature at a responsible distance from other people. And please share any topics you'd like to know more about. And, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to donate to the Quag Wildlife Refuge on our website. We are a not-for-profit, so everything we do is funded by people like you and donors who, want to learn more and enjoy nature. So thank you guys so much, and say bye to Renee. Bye guys.